What's going on, guys? This is Chandler Smith, and today I'm going to be answering the question that I get asked more than any other question, and that is, what is a good deal? I think everyone that starts looking into real estate, regardless of what they're looking into it for, just wants to know what a good deal is. So to answer this question, let's jump into it. Now, to get started, I believe that any good deal falls into one of three categories. And if it is the perfect deal, it actually falls into all three of these categories. And what these categories are is, first, equity. Second is cash flow. And third is the I love it category. And I'm going to talk about this a little more. I know that's probably got you wondering, but those are the three categories. So equity, cash flow, and I love it. Now, to explain each of them, the equity section is when you purchase a property and you've bought it at one price when it's worth a price substantially more than what you bought it at. So for instance, if I buy a property for $100,000, but I know tomorrow I could sell it for $150,000, that very obviously is a good deal. And it's a good deal because you have instant equity. The next category is cash flow. Now, what makes a good property in the cash flow category is when you buy that property and you know tomorrow you can be cash flowing at a good rate of return. And for me, a good cash flow is a 10% cash on cash return. So that means if I purchase this property using $25,000 of my money, and every year it gives me $2,500 or more in cash flow, then that for me is a good deal. Now, the final category is the I love it category, all right? And to explain the I love it category, I'm gonna share an experience with you. Now, when I started investing in real estate, I first loaned someone some money. Then I purchased a condo, then a couple duplexes, then a fourplex. And then at that point in my life, I decided, hey, me and my wife, we want a house. And we found a house and we loved it. Now, at the time, it wouldn't have mattered whether that property cash flowed. It wouldn't have mattered whether we had instant equity in it. None of that mattered because we found a house that we loved, that we wanted to raise our family in, and it fell into the I love it category. We had enough money for it. And honestly, I can tell you right now that I way overpaid for that property. Now, I've gotten lucky to where now it has fallen into the equity situation because I bought it at a time where the market was really accelerating. And now we've got a ton of equity in that house just after owning it for a couple of years. However, when we bought it, it was purely because of the I love it category. And the real reason I included the I love it category is I have a lot of people that come to me and say, Chandler, is it a good deal for me and my wife to buy this house? And so for me, when they ask that, I will just say, look, do you love it? I mean, is that where you want to raise your family? I don't know. I haven't been in that house. I can't answer that for you. Now, if you're buying it as an investment property, then I can help you to decide if you've got equity in it, or I can help you to decide if you're going to be able to cash flow, but I can't help you decide if you love it. And honest to goodness, if you're making good money and you're building a passive income and you're making all the right decisions, I believe your home is a place you have to go home to every single day. It's a place you've got to love, a place that you think is safe for your family. And so if you can afford it, the I love it category is a good enough reason to purchase your home. And I really believe it. Now, we're going to leave the I love it category aside because the I love it category can kill you if you try to use it at all when it comes to purchasing an investment property. Because anytime that you I love it get in front of cash flow or equity, when you're looking at an investment property, you have lost. Now, I will tell you right now, I've had multiple properties that cash flow or that have huge equity when I purchase them that I also love, but I think a lot of my love is lust because I love the cash flow and the equity, and that is the proper way to purchase an investment property. All right, now to move on to the equity side of things. And I will be honest with you in saying most of the properties, actually all of the properties I've bought have had both an equity and a cash flow upside. Because I usually buy properties that have instant value add. Now, what value add is when you go into a property and you can do something to immediately add value. An example of this is I know I can immediately go in and raise rents. And because it's an investment property, that's going to raise cash flow, which in turn is going to raise what the property's worth because people purchase based on cash flow. That would be something to add value is raising rents, and that's going to give me equity and cash flow. Another situation is going in and doing some kind of renovation. So let's say you spend $20,000 in renovations, but instantly you have $50,000 in equity. So you buy a property for $100,000, you put in $20,000, you now own a property that's worth $150,000. That's a way to gain an equity position. Now, if you're buying for a buy and hold investment, I personally don't like buying and then adding equity unless it adds cash flow. For me, cash flow is king. However, there are people that purchase trying to acquire equity or net worth, you could say. One of these people is Meet Kevin. If you haven't checked out his YouTube channel, he is the best of the best, and I highly suggest jumping over, and he can give you way more information on properly buying a buy and hold investment for an equity upside with a very minimal cash flow. Now, he still is getting some cash flow, but for me, I personally want to be getting a 10% cash on cash return, which I've done a video on that, and I've shown you how to run the numbers on a cash on cash return, and you can click the link above to learn more about that. But just to explain it briefly, it's saying, all right, if we invest $25,000 of your money in a $100,000 investment, you need to be making at least $2,500 a year in cash flow. That's 10% of your $25,000. So that is the third category, is cash flow. It's a great reason to purchase property. And again, if you can go into a property, immediately add value and increase the cash flow, that makes it an incredible deal. Just to reiterate, there are three categories. There's the I love it, there's the equity, there's the cash flow. Unless you're living in it and you want to raise your family in it, you've got to eliminate the I love it category. And the way that I invest, I think you've got to have a strong cash flow and a strong equity position. And that doesn't mean it's going to have it right when you buy it, but it's got to be something where you can immediately add value to get cash flow and to get equity in the property. And that's how you know that it's a good deal. So if you're looking at a deal and it doesn't have upside of good cash flow, or it doesn't have the upside of instant equity or something you can add value to bring equity to where your numbers need to be, then I am telling you it is not a good deal. And if you follow these three things, then you're gonna know what a good deal is so that you can jump on it once you find it. So as you go on your search for the perfect deal, I wish you the best of luck. Just remember that if it's for you and your family and you love it, go for it. But otherwise, eliminate that I love it category. Focus on getting huge equity upside, huge cash flow upside. Find a way to add value to the property so you can increase both of these. And as you find deals with both equity and cash flow, you're gonna put yourself in a place to create a huge passive income for yourself. Now, if you enjoyed the video, push the like button and subscribe to the channel. I put out tons of videos of all the investment properties that I've purchased and all the tips and tricks that you can use to create a huge passive income for yourself. So again, like it, subscribe to the channel, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thanks so much, guys. Have a great day.